Want to fly something really rare? We're talking airliners that aviation geeks dream of logging, aircraft you barely see at airports anymore, but that are still flying commercial routes today. In this video, we're revealing the rarest modern airliners you can still fly, where to find them, and how you can grab a seat before they're gone for good. This is a guide for enthusiasts and rare flight hunters looking to add some hard-to-find jets and props to their logbooks by hunting out experiences on the rarest airliners you can still fly. From Cold War curiosities to last-of-the-line wide-bodies, these aircraft are vanishing fast. But if you know where to look, you can still experience them. Boeing 757-300. Let's start with the stretch variant of a classic, the Boeing 757-300. Longer than a 747 SP, yet single-aisle and narrow-body, this aircraft is the rarest of the 757 family. Only 55 were ever built. It was designed for high-density routes, but never sold widely, with only a few airlines taking up orders. While active numbers of the standard 757-200 series are still high, today you can only fly the 300 with Delta Airlines and United Airlines in the US, or hop on a leisure flight in Europe with Condor or fly Kiva in Uzbekistan. If you want to ride the flying pencil, better move fast. These birds won't hang around forever, with Condor scheduled to retire them this year. Airbus A300. The first wide-body twin-jet and the aircraft that launched Airbus as a serious competitor to existing manufacturers like Boeing, Lockheed, and McDonnell Douglas. The Airbus A300 debuted in the early 1970s and was once common across the world, flying with many airlines. But now, outside of cargo fleets, it's almost extinct for passenger service. Only a couple of airlines still fly it with passengers, primarily in Iran. Look to Iran Air and Mahan Air, flying A300s on domestic and regional routes from Tehran. It's a living museum piece, but be aware of travel restrictions before booking. Boeing 767-400. Boeing's oddball widebody, the 767-400 series, is the least common variant of this popular widebody airliner, stretched but not widely adopted. Only 37 were ever built, and they only ended up with two airlines, Delta and United. You can still catch them on transcontinental and transatlantic routes, often flying out of hubs like Atlanta, New York, or Washington Dulles. If you want to log a 767-400, these two airlines are your only options. But at least they'll be hanging around for a few more years yet. Airbus A318. The baby bus, the Airbus A318 is the smallest member of the A320 family, and also the rarest. Only 80 were built, and most are already retired. Your best and only bet today is Air France, which still uses a few A318s on domestic and short-haul European flights out of Paris Charles de Gaulle. It's small, it's quirky, and if you want to fly every Airbus variant, this one's essential. But watch out, Air France has already retired most of its A318s in favor of modern A220s. Boeing 747-8. The final queen of the skies, the Boeing 747-8 Intercontinental is the newest and longest 747 type to be built. While the passenger variant was never a big seller compared to the freighter version, it still flies with a few key airlines. Production of the 747 ended in 2022, and with modern airliners tending to use two engines over four, it's unlikely you'll ever see more 747s being built. Catch it with Lufthansa, usually on flights to North America or Asia, Air China, or Korean Air, particularly to long-haul destinations. With production now over, flying the 747-8 is a rare luxury that won't last forever. Fokker 50. A turboprop with staying power. The Fokker 50 was a popular regional aircraft in the 80s and 90s, developed from the classic F-27 Friendship, but its days are numbered, with few airlines still flying the type. Despite that, it still serves vital roles in remote and regional areas. You can fly this airliner with Air Panama, popular in Scandinavia, or a handful of operators across Kenya and East Africa. It's a rare ride these days, and a joy for propeller fans. Airbus A340-200-300. Long, elegant, and four-engined, the early Airbus A340 variants, the -200 and -300, have mostly disappeared from schedules, but a few are still clinging on. You might catch one with South African Airways, Conviasa in Venezuela, or Lufthansa, Swiss, and Edelweiss Air. particularly on long-haul or holiday routes. These aircraft were known for ultra-long range and quiet, smooth flights, but they're becoming museum pieces in the sky. Airlines today prefer two engines, which are cheaper to run. Examples also remain in Iran and are likely to continue for a while longer, whilst examples in Europe will be retired over the next few years. Boeing 717, a Douglas DC-9 at heart, but born in the late 1990s. The Boeing 717 was originally the McDonnell Douglas MD-95 and is known for being small, tough, and reliable. Only 155 were ever built, and it was Boeing's last commercial narrowbody before the 737 MAX came along. In fact, many consider the 717 to have been unpopular at Boeing, who wanted to focus on their new 737 model. Today, you can still fly the 717 with just two airlines, both in America. Delta has the largest fleet, and it mostly operates them on short hops within the US, out of its hubs like Atlanta. Hawaiian Airlines also has a fleet of 717s, where it's the workhorse of island flights in the Pacific chain. It's a rare and rugged jet that's beloved by pilots and passengers alike. Fokker 70. The Fokker 70 is even rarer than its bigger sibling, the F-100. Only 47 were ever built, but a few are still flying with niche operators. Check out Alliance Airlines in Australia, Fly Always in South America, or Air Niugini in Papua New Guinea. These aircraft are a throwback to 1990s regional flying and were once a common sight at European airports with airlines like KLM and Austrian Airlines. They are fast, compact, and disappearing fast. Illusian IL96, an exotic bird for Western travelers. The Illusian IL96 is a Russian-built four-engine widebody developed in the 1990s. Only around 33 have been produced today, and it never gained widespread use. During its heyday, the 96 flew with Russian national carrier Aeroflot and a few other airlines. Today, however, the only commercial airline still flying, it is Cubana de Aviación. Their single active aircraft is occasionally used on flights from Havana to Madrid or South America, but it's hard to know exactly where you can book it. If you want a unique experience, Russian cockpit, old-school cabin, this is about as rare as it gets today. Boeing 747-400. Finally, the Boeing 747-400 series, once the queen of the skies, now nearly extinct. While many have been retired or converted to cargo, a handful still fly passengers. During the 1990s and early 2000s, this variant of the popular jumbo jet could be found everywhere and flying for many major airlines. However, with the COVID-19 pandemic, airlines began accelerating their retirement programs, and carriers like British Airways, Virgin Atlantic, United Airlines, and Delta all sent their 747s to the scrapyards. There are spot opportunities to see them in service with Lufthansa and Air China today, as well as some other smaller carriers. Depending on the route, you should be able to book to fly on one. But don't wait, these iconic jumbos are nearing their final flights. So there you have it, 11 of the rarest airliners you can still fly in 2025. Each one is a relic of a different era, but they're still out there, waiting for you to tick off that bucket list flight. Which of these have you flown? Which would you love to try? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more rare aviation content. If you'd like to learn more about how to find and fly on rare and historic airliners, check out our guide. Last Chance to Fly features 50 different aircraft types and variants which are no longer common, but still possible to fly on. From wartime piston airliners to Soviet jets and more modern Airbus and Boeing types. This guide is regularly updated and is available exclusively to Airport Spotting Premium members. Find out more about how you can join and gain access to this and many other exclusive guides and content. Link in the description below.